This week, the sky brings the start of another intense chapter, and hopefully, with it, some more healing and miracles that I know we are all praying for. I'm going to get into all of that and more.
Welcome to Cosmic RX Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, MADI Murphy. I'll be serving up your weekly energy readings, cosmic boss interviews, and astro inspiration. Are you ready to love yourself more, manifest your dream life, and own your magic? Let's jump in.
Hello, everybody. It's me, your girl, your cosmic consultant, MADI Murphy. How are we doing? How are we feeling? My heart is just so heavy. The podcast, I record these on Tuesday or Wednesday. So last week when I recorded, the LA fires had just started. And then pretty quickly, it was made evident that this was not one of the more standard fires, that it was continuing to rage on, spread. Other fires were erupting, the winds making it worse, and really feeling at the center of this polycrisis of a complete climate crisis breakdown, witnessing governmental failures, more people's and animals and Mother Nature's life, if that's a way of putting that, affected by just bad decision making that comes from, good old colonization and capitalism. And here we are a week later, and it's really devastating, really a historical, unprecedented moment. So I just want to open the podcast by saying, LA, we are with you. We love you. Check in on your friends, family, coworkers, the person you follow on Instagram from there. It's just one of those moments that transcends words. And we had talked about 2025 might bring some COVID-esque repeat, like feelings that are emotional experiences that sort of repeat or rhyme with 2020. I wasn't expecting it to happen so early into the year, but this is what that feels like. And for all of you listening, we are doing a fundraiser with Baby to Baby, which is a great organization based out of LA that supports families in the area, helping them get things like diapers and clothing and formula. But there are so many great organizations. If you can donate, I encourage you to, or again, at the very least, just check in on someone, send them some love. The moment that we're in is so intense, and it is going to get more intense. And these are moments that feel like terror. Like I had mentioned last week, Mars retrograde in Cancer, opposite Pluto and Aquarius. It's like people's homes being destroyed, wildlife being terrorized, but also the quality of air, the quality of the energy in LA is what so many people keep, when I check in on them, it's what they say, even if they have everything, they're like, it's just the air quality feels so bad and the energy is so heavy. So how do we make our way through things like this? It really is. It's the reaching out. It's the staying connected. It's remembering our humanness, checking in on the heart space, caring for one another and being tender and compassionate. It's not just what we do in times like this, but it's truly the only thing that really matters and really gives meaning to our lives. And we talk a lot about purpose on this podcast. This is our purpose, right? Is to love one another wholly and peel back the layers within ourselves that keep us from loving ourselves and loving each other in this really whole, unencumbered way. So I encourage you to do that, holding you all in a big heart hug. And I really love us. I love you. I love you for being here. And, the astrology of the year, it's intense. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of instability, and some of it is going to be good, as we're going to get into in the astrology isn't real. And some of it is going to be really brutal. And this week is going to bring a little bit of both. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But I just wanted to start off the podcast by just sending love. Again, this is recording this on Wednesday, the 15th. I am sending like prayers and visualizations for also just a cooling energy, rain, something just to temper and slow down these fires in the LA area so that we everyone's nervous systems can at least get a reset and we can begin to navigate the next steps. So Mars in Cancer retrograde has me super in my feels. That full moon last week, super in the depths of it all and just feeling like I want to be that mama who just scoops up everyone. And like, I wish I could just throw everyone in my living room, make you some popcorn and put on a cozy movie, get you a cup of hot cocoa and be like, everything's going to be okay. But in the meantime, until I can do that, just holding everyone in their heart space. So this week, we're going to explore some of the big headlines. Let's see, the sun moves into Aquarius. So happy Aquarius season. Happy birthday to my natal Aquarians, my alien angels. With that, after the sun moves into Aquarius, very interesting astrology where the sun is going to meet up with Pluto, which happens once a year. But this is the first time the sun's meeting up with Pluto in Aquarius for the first time in 200 and some odd years, the last time being in the late 1700s. And this is all about power and absolute power and all of the Pluto and Aquarius themes really coming to a head. And we know the sun represents the king and leadership. So this is also very interesting that it's happening on the day of the inauguration here in the US. So I'm going to get into that. And really for the rest of the week, we have some other interesting astrology. That's basically the big headline. I'm going to get into what it means for us and more. And of course, we're going to talk about the moon and if astrology isn't real. So let's jump off there if astrology isn't real. Some much needed happy news. A lot of you reached out to me. And actually, I was doing our fundraising live this morning on Wednesday. And Heather, aka Monks Alive on Instagram, one of my beloved former mentees and a dear, dear friend, I was feeling so heavy for the live, and she jumped in right away with a comment that a ceasefire had been reached in Gaza, and that is very North Node in Pisces. North Node moved into Pisces on the 11th. I'm curious, how we're feeling about that. If you want to hear about what it means for your sign, check out that live that I did on our Instagram. But the North Node in Pisces is going to bring a lot of healing and a lot of closure. But like Pisces, it's not going to be linear, and we're going to experience some things that are going to feel like pulling us further away from that healing and unity, but then to bring us closer to that. And that was one of the things I talked about in the 2025 webinar. And that's even though it's happening in LA right now, like the fires are so scary and so terrifying, but I am feeling that North Node in Pisces energy of people putting down the borders and the things that separate us and just feeling into that unity and to like, your heart is my heart, my neighbor's home is my home. So for us to find out the news that a ceasefire was reached is truly something I know a lot of us have been praying for, a lot of us have been holding space for. So I am taking that celebration where we can. And even though for a lot of us, it could feel like it went on 500 days too long, at least it's here. It feels like a gift. It feels like something where we can exhale. And it does. It just makes me, again, want to hold everyone, the whole world in a hug once again. So it's very North Node in Pisces. It's like, it's a celebration, it's healing, but it also just brings up all of the grief that we're even here, that we even had to get to this point and looking at the numbers and the lives lost, and again, the devastation. And I just pray that this lasts, and I pray that we can focus on the rebuilding, the healing, the liberation, and then next figuring out a path forward for all, and especially the people of Gaza to feel liberated in the way that they are meant to. So North Node in Pisces doing its thing. Let's talk about the moon. Let's talk about what we can expect from the lunar weather this week that will help us just align with our most centered, self-care-y self. And the day this podcast comes out, the 20th, we have Libra moon, and that goes through the 21st, which is the Sun-Pluto conjunction day, until 11:20 a.m., and then the moon goes into Scorpio. So for those Libra moon days, Monday and Tuesday morning, It's going to bring us a feeling of lightness, a feeling of, tapping into, maybe wanting to tap into beauty, diplomacy, harmony. I love a Libra moon day. It just feels like we get a little reprieve. So doing something that feels romantic for yourself, or that feels like, again, bringing a part of your life into balance. Also, I always feel like Libra days are good days to do something to give back. Libra is not just a pretty face. It's also, deeply entwined with social justice and community. So again, thinking of a cause you want to donate to or participate in on a Libra moon day is a beautiful way of working with that energy, and just things that we look out for. The double air of it all. Sun moves into Aquarius on the 19th. So double air energy can make us really anxious, can really wreak havoc on our nervous systems, which we're already feeling. So if you can do things to tend to your adrenals, getting into your body, eating healthy fats, making yourself some ashwagandha tea, doing some breath work. These are things that might feel restorative and grounding. And then Tuesday the 21st, after 11:20 a.m., the moon was into Scorpio. And that stays there all day Wednesday into Thursday evening, late around 11:30 p.m. East Coast time. Scorpio moon, Aquarius sun, we are going into the shadows. We're probably examining concepts like power, sexuality, secrets, subversive things on our own or with others, and, embrace that in a healthy way. I love to dig a little below the surface on those days, see what's coming up. If I'm having darker, quote unquote, thoughts or getting a little paranoid or feeling triggered, I'm like, how can I examine this? How can I sit with this instead of rejecting it? See what it might be showing me, teaching me, and not judging it, which I think is one of Scorpio's beautiful gifts, is the ability to go below the surface and go deeper without attaching too much judgment or labels to anything. Things we're going to look out for, it's Aquarius sun, Scorpio moon, which is a very fixed energy. So we're going to look out for just honestly being stubborn or feeling like there's only one way to get something done. It's just going to give us it's going to save ourselves a lot of energy if we can lean into that. Then late Thursday night into all day Friday, into Saturday, actually all day Saturday, into early morning on Sunday, we have a Sag moon. So I love this, basically Sag moon weekend. Sag moon is coming to help us dream a new dream, to think of a new way forward, to tap into some kind of inspiration. I always equate Sag moon energies with a change of scenery. Now, this is from your girl who is in full postpartum mode, barely gets out of the house. So I'm telling myself, okay, this weekend, change of scenery does you good. It can also be laughter. Are there people that you FaceTime with or hang out with who just make you laugh? Or is it putting on a really good comedy? I don't know why I'm really equating, especially this Sag moon, with the need for a change of scenery or a change in the vibe, which I feel comes from sacred giggle medicine. Things to look out for. With the Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Sag, we want freedom, absolutely. That's two freedom-loving signs. We just have to look out for being avoidant or for just, being flighty. That's not the same thing as being free. So just check in with yourself. If you're avoiding doing something, saying something, confronting someone, just asking yourself, is this healthy? If I actually face this head on, will it actually bring me more of a sense of being free in a really authentic, true way? And then we just round out the weekend on Sunday with that Cap moon at 8:42 a.m. So maybe Sunday, you just take care of business in something in your home, something that's been on your to-do list, and you just Cap moon, be the boss bitch of your own life and just do it, rip the Band-Aid off. It feels good. Maybe the first half of the day, second half of the day, just be a garbage person, melt into the couch. But I feel that Cat moon energy is fun to kind of take care of something on the earth plane, but then not forget Sunday, day of rest, day of the sun card in the tarot. Let yourself just feel that warm and relax, and don't be too hard on yourself. Things to look out for on Cat moon days. So next week, this Aquarian energy, we're really going to be in it. The sun in Aquarius, we're all going to learn a lot. This Aquarius, this whole beginning part of the year, trust me, is so bizarre. We're still in Mars retrograde. We're still learning a lot of the lessons unfolding. A lot of information is going to come out, especially like through the end of February. We're in this retrograde. This Aquarius season is our first Aquarius season where we're fully in Pluto and Aquarius. So let's have a little check-in. Let's make a little list of what are peak, high vibrational, high consciousness Aquarian themes and concepts that we can really lean into this Aquarius season that goes through February 18th. Activism, community, humanitarian efforts. There's no shortage of things that we can get involved with there. How do we innovate? How do we look forward? How do we support each other through mutual aid, things like crowdfunding and getting involved in your local community level of things? You know, Aquarius rules technology. Is there something in your life that could be made easier through outsourcing it to technology? Are you someone who has like a techie scientific mind and you have something you want to offer to the collective? You know, this is a time to really be in the Aquarian energy and explore like the healthy aspects of it. Because, on January 21st, you know, the sun, the giver of all life, is going to sit with and meet up with and clash with and kiss, however you want to put it, Pluto. The sun illuminates, gives life. Pluto conceals, then reveals, and is the lord of the underworld. So they're already like odd bedfellows. And again, it's their first time meeting up in a long time. So just on the micro level, for things to be aware of on that day, do not engage in the like power plays. Do not engage in like the drama. The astrology of the moment is so unsteady and is so intense. And you and I and everyone listening to this podcast knows that. But there's a lot of people who do not. So they are like falling into the trappings of it. They're being triggered. They're, you know, whatever it is, they're trying to grab whatever to them feels like control. I saw an interesting TikTok about this expression, like hyper-normalization. This is a whole thing. It's an expression that was coined in the 70s by a man who lived through like the crumbling of the Soviet Union and essentially talked about when people know that the systems aren't working anymore, but one acts like they are, specifically the government, to benefit, you know, politicians, multinational corporations. But we're sitting here being like, what in the dystopian hell is happening? And then I think someone made a documentary with that title in 2016. And that is a little bit of what we're feeling right now. You know, Pluto and the sun can definitely ignite this concept of like a plutocracy, people who just want power over everything. And I think, unfortunately, we are seeing that with this wave of this, you know, next round of Trump's presidency and the permission it's given people. We already saw right after Election Day, things people were saying online. We've seen things, you know, from the tech bros. We see corporations just kind of bending at the knee or getting rid of anything that feels like progressive, or, you know, the DEI policies, or just anything where they're even like pretending to give a shit about people. So it is going to be weird. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird times. But again, like by us not engaging in certain power plays in the individual level and remembering that collectively we're more powerful than they could ever be, it's so important. We just have to remember that and act on it all the time and not give into the other narrative that is kind of seeking to tell us like, give up on that, or nothing we do makes a difference. So yeah, so this, you know, this happening on Inauguration Day is no small thing. And I'm hoping that, you know, in the short term, it is going to bring some things that probably are going to feel like scary or intense. But in other ways, I hope that it brings like this rare opportunity to really transform and heal the US, but really, Western culture, even if we have to go through extreme methods to go there. So the challenging aspects of this: egoism, authoritarianism, extreme polarization, divisiveness, power struggles, like I said, plutocracy, obsessive compulsive behavior, paranoia, violence, corruption, absolute power abuse. That is it. And we're going to see that. And I think we see again, like this bending of the knee, right? With like the media companies, the big corporations, his weird ass cabinet he's putting, through, feels that's really intense. But we also know what is ahead with Pluto and experiencing the Pluto return. It's like we have to go through almost a deep crumbling of the systems. And that's what was interesting about the whole Luigi Mangione thing that started off. That was when the Sun Venus Sirius conjunction in Aquarius on December 7th. Around that time, like it was, I think it was like a day or two before that, that is showing like the new way forward for us to band together as people. And that having people come together on the internet by how completely robbed they've been or conned they've been by insurance companies was something that like unexpectedly brought us together. And we're going to experience more moments like that, I imagine, over the next few years, where we, the people, realize that like we have to have each other's back. We have more similarities. Anything that, we're told to separate us is just separate us, to keep us powerless. And that it's not left versus right, black versus white. It's up versus down. It's the uber wealthy versus all of us who are just trying to provide for our families and have like a quasi normal, peaceful life, right? So the thing that I love about the astrology for this day is that I've been doing a little reading on like fixed stars and looking into them. And there is a fixed star altair from the Astrology King website I saw, and it's the Eagle star. And actually why I was reading about it and doing research on it is the brightest star in the sky. Sorry, the brightest star in the constellation, the Aquila constellation. And the Aquila constellation is the eagle that carried Zeus or Jupiter's thunderbolts. And that is actually Wizard. It's a family last name. It's his paternal grandmother's maiden name. And that is now Santino's middle name. And I loved that name. I loved the research about it. I loved so much about the mythology. But then now with this Aquarian era, it's next to the Aquarius constellation. And of course, the eagle represents so many things, right? Like being noble, being an integrity, leadership, courage, generosity, being in touch with the spirit world. And, this fixed star Altair in this constellation is also conjunct the Sun and Pluto that day. And we know the eagle has a lot of connection to the USA, bald eagle, all of that. But I also feel like something about this alignment, to me, having it with the fixed star, I hope that it can bring a transformation in this way of bringing more high integrity leadership in, more courageous leadership, more leadership that is really for the people. There's a lot in the astrology of the inauguration that shows Trump is going to keep trumping, shooting his mouth off, shooting at the hips. There is some not great astrology for Trump over the next few months, so we'll see how that plays out. But again, less about Trump, more about our collective. I do feel like, again, there are things that are going to get intense, and there's going to be certain moments where things are going to feel worse and they're crumbling, but they're doing that so we can come together. It's like us understanding as a collective that we have more alike and we have more to fight for, and that this divisiveness is really getting us nowhere, and we have to start demanding like real change from politicians, from corporations, and taking really actual good care of each other. That this Aquarian energy is going to bring us the mixed bag, but it's up to us to embody that energy, to bring what we want to see out of this revolution. It's like up to us to hold that in the micro in all of our interactions in our corner of the world. And I feel like that is so much of what we're experiencing right now and kicking off the year, right? Like, how are we going to take care of our people, our friends, our family, our one precious earth, and how it's all being affected in LA. And I just want to remind myself too, that like we were incarnated, we were born during these times for a reason. You have something to share. You have medicine, you have magic, you have something. And I want us all to also remember to really be in our humanness, right? I said that a lot for Pluto and Aquarius. It's really easy to disassociate, to be numb, to again go into like that hyper normalization space where like nothing phases us. But cry if you need to, scream if you need to, sleep it off if you need to. But let's always like keep returning to this heart space. January is going to continue to be a little tricky. February as well. Then March, we have like crazy eclipses and retrogrades. Again, check out the whole 2025 replay if you want the whole scope of the year. But I do sense some really like positive momentum forward coming in April. I know that feels like a long way away right now, but we're in it for the long haul. We're going to get through it together. And again, we're just staying deep in the heart space, which is where I'm holding all of you. And, until next week's podcast, I'm just sending you so much love, wrapping you in that big heart hug, and of course, sending you big ass blessings for big, fat, juicy checks and hot, fulfilling, toe curling sex. Love you, each and every one of you, so much. Mwah. Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about Cosmic RX, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.